This week's video, the global energy crisis. Alex, is it a crisis?
It's a looming crisis.
Looming.
And further, what is a crack spread and why does it matter to you?
And what's happening with natural gas. We're going to cover it all right here. McGowan Group Wealth Management. This is the Advanced Report, the weekly client update for our smart, happy, wealthy clients. You should be one of them. If your wealth manager is boring, just go to the McGowanGroup.com. Find us there. Upgrade your plan. Stay tuned for the global energy crisis. This is the July 27th, 2026 Advanced Report for McGowan Group clients. Alex, give us this week's focus.
Well, we are going to cover the looming energy crisis, what's going on in oil prices, crack spreads, and inventories. But first, we want to cover what's going on in the S&P 500
I've never
earnings
seen
grid.
anything this good.
70%.
70% profit growth over last year.
It's 133 companies reporting, so they're not all in yet.
That's a fourth of them, more.
Yeah, but it's been fantastic. Information technology, obviously hyperscalers, and all those that are getting checks, growing at 181% year over year in earnings growth. Yeah, that's amazing.
Sales growth 13%. So if we say inflation was 3-ish over the past year,
Yeah,
13% sales growth. That's 10% more than inflation.
that's not a recession though. Just
Not a
saying.
recession.
Not a recession.
Well, we'll cover what could be a recession. But first,
Moving on to the next slide. One,
tried
two,
to.
three.
oh,
There
I
we
forgot
go.
to. Whoa. Okay.
All right,
I was
technical
about to
difficulties.
I was about to blame Preston Lane. Poor guy's back there doing all this technology for us, and he gets blamed for everything. All
So
right.
just push the button, Spencer. All right, so big news this past quarter, the beginning of the
Can I
quarter.
explain what this is first?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of a quarter, investment portfolios get shifted when the quarter begins. So this quarter began, right, July 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the top and bottom performers in the S&P 500. Alex, take it away.
Yeah, since that time, right? So at the end of the quarter, you have people buying stuff to make sure that it's in the portfolio so they can tell everybody they had it. So what's happened since? PayPal leading the pack with almost a 29% gain. That's really buyout rumors. But then you have...
Nobody likes them. They may get bought out by Stripe.
Right.
Yeah,
They're
but
going to do
nobody
something,
likes PayPal. It's
something
like,
silly.
oh, I love my PayPal. Like nobody.
I don't
Okay.
use it ever. Like,
Okay.
I can't believe it's a little button on there. But anyway,
Now, a pattern will emerge as you cover this. And who's performing the best in the third quarter?
right. Phillips 66,
Refining.
Marathon Pete,
Refining.
SanDisk Corp,
I don't know.
Diamondback Energy,
Oil and gas.
Occidental,
Obvious.
Chevron, Valero, Refining, SIBO Global Markets, and then Travelers rounding it out.
Okay, now here's the looming crisis.
That's right.
This is the greatest spending spree in history ever. And it's data centers, in case you didn't triangulate it before as I was saying it, right? But the investors are starting to rebel against people that are writing big checks.
That's right. So you got to fund this, right? So Google reported earlier.
Yep. They made $9 billion, 250% increase over last year. That's $36 billion a year annualized. And how much are they going to spend?
180 billion.
Oh,
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Take us through who is going down because investors are questioning, is there going to be enough money? And are you going to ever make money? What'd you say? ROIC?
That's right. Return on invested capital.
Yeah. When am I going to get a check?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's writing all these checks. When do I get a check?
So your after-tax profit over your invested capital or your CapEx spending, right?
Yep.
Worst performing, though, Tesla, that got beat up real bad.
Lots of AI, self-driving cars, robots.
Teradyne, Coherent, Lam Research, that's chips, KLA 10 Core, or KLA Corp now, chips, Generac Holdings, Intel, chips, Marvell chips, SanDisk,
Yep.
and Corning.
All right. So
There you go.
there's a little concern there. All right. Now, if we take the global energy crisis, here, these are inventories, and they call it motor gasoline, as opposed to the gasoline that's not for motors. Anyway, the beautiful Katrina McGowan starts coming to me at the end of June
Right.
with Facebook posts coming out of Russia and the YouTubers that left because they would be in jail now with Putin. As Ukraine developed the Flamingo drone and started taking out all the refineries.
That's bad.
So they're 7%. Here's some crisis data. They're roughly 7% of the world's refined petroleum exports.
That's right.
Saudi Arabia does that. And the Houthis, they started shooting at the Saudi Arabian ships this week, right? So that hamstrings.
That does two things, right? One is inventories are low against their 5-year average. But the second thing is, we don't have a chart on this right now, but I'll cover it. It's called the crack spread. It's what is the premium of refined product over a barrel of oil in cost, right? So if you said, oil per barrel is about $80, the crack spread is $80. So it's $160
For refined product.
per barrel for refined product. We've never seen it that high. It's the highest it's ever been.
And you're at historic lows. This is the 5-year range for gasoline. So that's a lot of gasoline at the beginning of the year. And now you've dropped from what looks like close to 300 million barrels of motor gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're down to historic lows. There's the average, right, for this time of year. And you're approximately 20 million barrels below average. So that's not a surplus.
The looming crisis is, if this continues to stay low, you'll have elevated fuel prices right at the pump, and that'll start to pinch the consumer and
fuel oil.
And fuel oil.
That's refined product. Notice same thing. Really historic lows. And look at the oil. Now this is a 40-year low in the strategic petroleum reserves of the United States and of Europe.
That's right.
Because they did a big release. Well, we covered 1 billion barrels has gone out.
You got to refill it.
And maybe you need to refill 500 million to be close to normal.
Right.
Because there was a surplus. But the surplus is gone, and you're maybe 500 million barrels behind where you should be. And that says, wow, you do have a crisis. And here's my premise. Okay. They say, and a friend of mine who's also a good portfolio manager.
Yeah.
You are too. But anyway, a buddy of mine, he uses the phrase often wrong, seldom in doubt. Because part of being an investor is you admit your mistakes. And you listen to Warren Buffett, he'll usually lead with his mistakes, like in his letters and stuff. People that always talk about their victories,
right?
I always put a question mark, because some people, you notice, anytime they talk about investing, they're just telling you, oh yeah, and I made this much, and I made this much. And then when everything goes down, they get really silent. They never, they don't have the humility to lead with their mistakes. So often wrong and seldom in doubt. But in the case of my premise, if the normal cycle from crisis undersupply, right, to oversupply is normally about 8 years. Well, we had the oversupply of 2020 when you could get paid a lot for buying a barrel of oil
Right.
because of the Chinese. That's a different story. But anyway,
I tried.
if it's an 8-year cycle, that's 2028. You referenced crack spreads, profit for refining at $80 a barrel,
Right.
right? You got all these inventories to refill. Chevron was outperforming this quarter, most of the rest of the S&P. So you've got to refill that. So it says you have an extended cycle as you refill inventories. That also says they're beginning to expand the multiples, because we sat for years going, that's 5 times earnings, 3 times earnings sometimes.
Right.
You know, and the pipelines are starting to get higher multiples for the energy infrastructure. I think that lasts a while.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Now look at this disaster for gas. Okay, there's distillate fuel oil inventories as opposed to motor gasoline. All right. Anyway, there's motor gasoline. Natural gas. So you're out in the Permian, you're going to drill, baby, drill, because oil's, went over 90 this week.
Right.
Look what Steven did. Steven Norris, Super Chuck Norris.
He did a little typo there.
I got to go ask Steven. He's a great trader.
Yeah. We didn't hire him for his spelling
Bloomberg doesn't have
abilities.
spell check. Approximately. Anyway, natural gas futures are down approximately 19% year to date. Now, if you go to Waha, instead of being $2.90 per million BTUs, right? You go to Waha, it's about $2. And sometimes it goes negative out in the Permian because everybody's drilling. So you have this abundance of natural gas, but they're building pipes and data centers to suck all that out.
That's right.
And two-thirds, I read this week, subject to verification, 2/3 of Europe's natural gas is now U.S.
Okay.
And it may be because of the disruption. Now let's go over to Europe.
This is why I say I need to get a boat.
And I did the math on this. All right, this is in U.S. dollars per million BTUs.
Right. That's how we price it here.
European natural gas. 116% up year to date.
That's a lot.
So instead of being under $3 or close to $2, over there it's $21.42 and rising. That means the U.S. companies that have the infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
The pipelines, everybody does LNG, everybody that makes natural gas. You've got a
giant spread.
And if those two come together, what's that called?
Arbitrage
That spread, you could start to see $5 gas, $10 gas.
Well, I've been saying it for 3 years, and so far I've been wrong. But I think at some point that could happen.
If you're getting a dividend and the price is moving up, then, it's okay. You can wait.
Well, I know.
That could be an added benefit towards the end of the cycle.
Yeah.
And next week we'll cover the data center cycle, a little bit more detail on how much money's being spent. It's like $1 trillion. And then we'll cover who's paying for that. Oh, oops, upside your head. SpaceX this week. I don't have a chart on this, but SpaceX is chopped in half since its high price.
Yeah. Only took 6 weeks.
Because they're writing checks. They like to spend money. They want, Elon wants to go to Mars. And I don't know how much it costs to go to Mars, but I bet it's expensive.
Well, they're going to have their first unlock period coming up in the next week or so, where
August 6th.
Another 116 or 118 billion is potentially coming for sale.
And they're $113, down from near 230. Investors are not enjoying negative cash flow anymore.
Nope.
So you're going to have to be careful in the years ahead. That's why you want to subscribe. Hit the like button if you would, because it's a good hair day for me. And Alex and I will be back next week. Get to the McGowanGroup.com and upgrade your plan for 2027. Thank you for tuning in today to Net Worth Media. We also have Apple Podcast. Simply type in Net Worth Radio and boom, it'll hit your phone right then. If you also go to networthradio.com on a browser, you're going to be able to meet the team. You can see our performance track record, the model portfolios that go with today's broadcast. Also at networthradio.com, the longer play podcast is available there as well. We're grateful that you've tuned in. Remember, when we talk about a security, it doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until we actually complete a written plan for you by Zoom or in office or simply a conference call. So you reach us at networthradio.com if you want to get that arranged. Market fluctuations and how to handle them. We build high cash flow portfolios, and past performance doesn't guarantee future results, so you do have to be ready for challenging markets. We can build more cash flow during challenging markets than we can when everybody's happy and everything's up, which is when we tend to raise tactical safety. Those allocation strategies are here at networthradio.com. Thank you for tuning in.